Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial about using the Can Do resource in Sesame. For this tutorial, we will use the Scheherazade module. Lab resources related to the current Sesame module can be found in the Options menu and by mousing down to Lab Resources. Lab resources are shown in the Lab Resources submenu. Initially, the lab resources are only available to the lab master to manage, define, or modify. Other lab members can only view and use them. The Can Do resource allows the lab master to delegate responsibility for individual lab resources to lab members. The Can Do resource is maintained only by the lab master. For other lab members, the Can Do menu item is grayed out and the resource is not viewable. To open the Can Do window on the board, click on the Can Do's menu item. First, a quick overview of the layout of the Can Do window. The upper part of the Can Do window is the search result window. Usernames appear here for any lab members who have a Can Do record that fits the search criteria. When a username is selected, the bottom part of the window shows their full Can Do record with details of that user's Can Do resource assignments. The upper and lower part of the Can Do window may be resized by dragging the bar in the middle. To view the existing Can Do records for the current lab, use the search function. Under the search menu, we can search by lab or search by date. In this tutorial, I will search by lab. The search window pop-up contains three fields that let us define the search criteria: username, Can Do resource, and type. When I leave an asterisk in every field, all the Can Do records for the current lab are returned. The search results are shown in the upper part of the Can Do window, sorted by username. Click on a username and the full Can Do record for the user appears in the lower window. The Can Do resource field here shows all the assigned privileges. For example, Diana can manage the type lab resource and a couple others. Typically, lab resource related Can Do's are given in bigger labs to group leaders. The lab master may also use the Can Do resource to allow other lab members to generate some of the restricted reports or to enable dumping of all records in XML format for a particular item type. Every lab member can be assigned multiple Can Do responsibilities and privileges, and multiple lab members may be assigned privileges for the same lab resources. To search for existing Can Do records by lab resource, click on Search by Lab. Restrict the search by going into the Can Do resource field and selecting the specific Can Do resource from the drop-down. For this sample, I will select the Lab RSC type resource. The new search results replace the old ones in the upper part of the window. Now, only those lab members who are shown can manage the type lab resource. To add a Can Do resource to this record, under the Can Do Resources field, click on the green plus button on the right side of the field. This will add a new row to the table in the field. Then click to the empty row for a drop-down menu list of available Can Do's. Click on the resource to add to the table. To make this change permanent, go to the Can Do menu and select Save Can Do. If a lab member has no existing Can Do record, we can create one from scratch or use another user's Can Do record as a template. First, let's create a Can Do record from scratch. To add a Can Do record, I will select the lab member's username, in this case Blake. In this example, Blake doesn't have a Can Do record yet. Now, assign Can Do resources by selecting the green plus button to the right to add a row, and then click into the top of the table to open the drop-down list of available Can Do resources. Because this lab member didn't have an existing Can Do record, we will choose Save as New Can Do under the Can Do menu. Now we'll create a Can Do record from a template. A lab member's can-do record may be used as a template to assign the same can-do privileges to another user, including users who do not have an existing can-do record. In this example, we now have a can-do record that belongs to Blake showing in the lower part of the window. To copy and assign this can-do record and give identical can-do privileges to another user, I'll simply change the username in that field of this record. In this case, I'll select Emily. Now this can-do record copy belongs to Emily. Save Emily's can-do by selecting Save as New because she doesn't have an existing can-do record. If a record for the selected user exists already, clicking on Save as New will return an error message. We just created a record for Emily, so the error shows when I choose this option now. To delete a can-do privilege, select the can-do resource string and click on the red minus button to the right. You can delete more or all privileges in this way. To make this change permanent and for the changes to take effect, the record needs to be saved. You may also delete an entire can-do record. Please note that deleting the can-do record will delete not only the can-do privileges, but also the cannot edit data. To delete the entire can-do record and all the can-do privileges for a user, navigate to the can-do menu and choose Delete Can-Do. A pop-up window appears. To confirm the change, complete the deletion by selecting Remove Can-Do. When a lab member is removed or leaves the lab, the can-do record for that user, if there is one, will be deleted automatically. You can generate a report of all can-dos that exist for the lab. Simply select Report from the top menu, and then select Can-Do Resources. A 2-column report is generated showing user names and their assigned can-do resources. You can sort both columns by double-clicking on the column headers. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and please refer to the help pages on the Sesame website for any further questions.